Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in beautiful downtown Greystanes, a suburb of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. How is everybody? I hope you're all well. Now I've been watching a couple of YouTube channels and things like that, and I've made this card, and it's a combination of a couple of different ideas I took from one, I took something from another one, but suffice it to say, I've put this card together and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. Now, there's a couple of things that are on this card that are disappearing very, very soon. The first thing is the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. This is the free one that you can earn with an order of $90. Beautiful paper, absolutely gorgeous paper. The other thing that is in this card, and it may not be available in your country, you might already have them, but they are a sequin pack called For Everything Fancy Sequins. And you get 3 colours. You get green, you get pinks, and you get blues. Look, that's probably going to last me for the rest of my life. These are currently in the clearance rack in Australia. I will put all the details in the description below, so don't worry about that. If I happen to miss something, yeah. It'll all be there, but I'm only using the green ones today. I suppose maybe I'll put some blue ones in. I might put some blue ones in. Let's see. We'll see how we go. Yeah, I don't want to overfill this. We're making a shaker card. So without going any further, I will show you the card that I have already made, but I am going to make the next one in a slightly different, well, a different orientation altogether. I did put too much in the shaker, so I'll be learning by that experience. But there's our beautiful Designer Series paper in the back. I had this one here and I cut a few of the birds out, and it was like, now what do I do with them? I had no idea what to do with them, but I found a card. I've cased this part of the card, not the shaker part, not the sentiment, but anyway, suffice it to say, there's a piece of acetate on there. Now that could be our window sheets, that could be a piece of packaging. In my case, it's some laminating offcuts. So yeah, I've kept them and I just use them for that. This comes from In the Moment, in my thoughts, you're in my thoughts. The sentiment inside will come from the translucent florals, wishing you all the happiness in the world. So we'll get going. I've got all the bits and pieces partially done. I'm going to pop this over here so I can see it, so I don't forget what I'm doing. So I've got all these bits and pieces here. Now, I've already cut things out and I've got things ready to go. Here is my strip of Designer Series paper that is going to go behind our acetate window. Here is the piece of laminating there. I've got some Misty Moonlight. Now this is matte 1. If you haven't seen or would like a copy of the 2 sizes for, it's like a ready reckoner, it's like a template to show you the US letter sizes and the metric. So if you're watching this in metric and I say matte 1, you can quickly go to your US letter size template and see what size that is. Conversely, if you're watching a US demonstrator and they're talking about a mat that is 4 by 5 1/4, I've labeled that as mat 1. You can go to your metric one and look at mat 1 and you will find that that is in centimeters. And not only is it in centimeters, it hasn't just been directly converted, it's to fit our cards. This is a US letter size card, the white part. this is an Australian A4, or indeed the rest of the world metric size, so they are different. So think about requesting those. You can email me at my email address, which is just here, and request those, and I'll send you the PDF for that. So this piece is size 1. I have a piece of basic white in here. I've already die cut the Stylish Shapes circle, the largest one, out of this. And now I'm going to emboss it with the Timeworn type embossing folder. I really love this embossing folder, so I'm going to do that in a moment. You really need to cut that first before you emboss it, because if you try to cut it later, you're going to squash all your embossing. So this is mat 1. This is mat 2. I have the piece of acetate cut at just slightly smaller than size mat 2, and I have a piece of the designer series paper. I have also cut out bits and pieces from scraps. This is from the Gorgeously Made. It's just one die, and I'm going to get heaps and heaps of leaves and foliage from that. I cut it out twice, and that is in Garden Green. Details below. I've already cut out my little bird, and I've got him kind of sitting on there, and I thought, no, I better wait. But I've got a little jar full of little bits of offcuts, little leaves and things like that that I cut out from here. I will put the dies from there in the description because I can't remember. Sorry, can't remember. So let's get going. Okay, so I have, now this is a shaker card, as I said. Now, if you have not made a shaker card before, or you think this is going to be a little bit too difficult, I hope this dispels those fears for you. So I have my piece of basic white. I have cut that Stylish Shapes circle towards the top half. This is going to be a portrait card, whereas this one is landscape, just so that you can have a look and see what you prefer, but we'll get into that. So I'm going to emboss this now. Now this has got text on it, so when I had it in the landscape position, I had it this way. Now I want that in the portrait, I'm going to have it this way. Otherwise, the text will go the wrong way round. So let me just emboss that. I'll be 2 seconds. And I could have done it first, but I wanted to show you that I had cut that first before I had embossed it. Now it'll only take a second. We're also going to be using some of this gorgeous ribbon. This is the first time I've used this ribbon. I've had it for ages. It's called Misty Moonlight Inner Braid Ribbon. It's in the current annual catalogue, and it's Misty Moonlight and white, so it's going to tie in beautifully with these colours that we have here. Okay, now I have embossed this now, so I will reveal. And I'll show you the texture on that. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see the texture on that. It's lovely. I really like this embossing folder. It's one of my favourites. Okay, so we've got that. We've got some leaves. We've got our little cutout bird. I fussy cut that. I fussy cut quite a few of them out. And I thought I really liked this. It's got enough open space to do what I wanted to do. Okay, so the first couple of things we need to do is to find out what part of this paper I want showing through, because I do want the birds to be showing through, but they are not the focal point. But I think this is the easiest way to do this, is to find your hole, the space that you want to fill, and yeah, find some birds that you want. I think I kind of like those three there. So I'm just going to trim that down. So I just want it to be smaller than the panel. And I'll just use this little guillotine. We don't carry this anymore, but I wish we did because it's a really good little guillotine. So I'm just going to chop that and then turn that around and chop it this end. Now they're scraps, but they're usable, so don't throw them out. Okay, so we've got a couple of things happening now. We've got our beautiful panel. We've got this with the aperture in it. I've got a ribbon, some ribbon. I've got some bits and pieces over here that we're going to be doing some stamping and things like that. So I think the first thing I will do is do the stamping and get that done. So I'm using Night of Navy. Now I could have used Misty Moonlight, but I quite liked the Night of Navy up against the white. So this little piece of scrap that was just cut from somewhere is our greeting. So I hope I can get this straight. So just bear with me. And I want to kind of do it towards this end. So I'm going to ink that up. Now look, I'm just doing that lightly. You can see that it's inked up there. And I want about 1/2 inch from the end. Now I don't even know how wide that is, but I hope that's straight. It's going down. If not, I'm going to flip it over. Oh, that's fairly good. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. So I'll just clean that because, yeah, I tend to make a mess. And I have the greeting for inside of the card. Now don't forget, this is going to be a landscape card. So the greeting that I've chosen is wishing you all the happiness in the world. Same colour. I'm just going to ink that up. I'm not smushing that down really hard because it's a very fine font. Now I want to get this straight around about there. So if you want to measure it, go for it. But yeah, I'm kind of just eyeballing this. So I'm not really pushing down too much. And there we go. That looks pretty good to me. So that's our stamping done. Done and dusted. Now for the inside of the card, I just thought I'd put a little bit of a scrap of the designer series paper across the bottom. And I'll do that now. Pop this out of the way, so I'm not covered in ink. And I can use my seal for this. So I'm just going to pop a bit of seal in a couple of spots. And pop this down towards the bottom. And I have another scrap of the, what do you call this? Misty Moonlight that I'm going to pop next to it. So I'm going to pop this here like this. I want the same border all the way around. So just make sure it's straight and you have your beautiful border there. I will just use a bead of glue along here. This is cut exactly to the right size, so just a little bit of glue. This, honestly, I think I'll just use this. Just put a couple of little bits along here, and then I'll just run my fingers along and tuck that under if it does come out. So now that's going to go straight up against this. The border should be exactly the same. And I can just push it with my fingernail up against there, just like that. So that's finished off the inside of the card. So now we can concentrate on all the bits and pieces for the shaker card. Okay, so here is the business end of our card. And the first thing I want to do is to attach this piece of the acetate to the back of our piece of embossed basic white. Now the easiest way to do this is tear and tape, and yeah, stand by because I always have trouble with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit down either side. I'm doing it on the acetate. That way I know where it's going to go. So just a bit down either end of the acetate, or in my case the laminating offcut. Now this is strong. The tear and tape is really strong, so, and it's much easier to do than try and put this on with liquid glue. So that's going to go on there, but I do want some strategic places where I want some extra tear and tape. So I will do another bit here. And this, I'm going directly onto the paper now, so. And just a couple of little bits around here. Oh, I might just cut these, I think. Might just cut some small pieces for around there. Now, remembering that our acetate piece is just slightly smaller, so this probably will be enough anyway, but if in doubt, I think that'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Now, I don't have my take your pick. I can't find it. It's more than likely here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this, the protective paper from the back. Great. Just drop that straight in it. I hope everybody's had a great week. I've had a bit of a sad week. My friend Stan, we had his funeral on Tuesday, and yeah, it was sad. Of course it was sad. But yeah, he's at peace now, so I will miss him though. Okay, so I'm just lifting this up. This would be so much better if I had my take your pick, but you know, what can I say? I think I managed to lose at least one thing per video, if not more. Oh, that's better. If you go sideways. Go sideways, Jill. Okay. So there we go. So all those, oh, no, there's one more. There's one more. Sorry, I spoke too soon. There we go. Right. I seem to make things more difficult than they are. So I've got my acetate, I've got my sticky tear and tape there. I'm going to turn that upside down. Now I don't want this to be seen from the other side. So I'm just laying that down, making sure that that small border is all the way around. And there we go, okay? So beautiful. So that's one bit done. Now, the next bit I need to do is to work out where I'm going to put these little birdies. So I think I will just pop this in the center, make sure there's a decent enough border all the way around, and we will use our seal for this as well. This stuff is great. Like, I take this when I'm going on holidays, and I don't have to worry about glue, you know, leaking or anything like that. But yeah, I struggle with it sometimes, but most of the time I'm okay. So I've got this little border here now, and when this is on here, you won't see that border. Okay, so now we have those two pieces. So I'm going to get some of our strips, and these are great for this sort of thing. So I've got this, I've turned this upside down, and I can see where I need to go with these. So the first thing I do is, I found, is to take that off there first, and then take this, because then you can actually curve this. When it's got the backing paper on it, it's a little bit trickier. So you want to put it about, oh, probably like not even 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just curving this around and pressing down where I can. And then I'm going to take a second piece and complete that circle. But it's easier if you take that paper off first. Ask me how I know. After struggling with it. So there we go. Now it's very sticky, but you can actually lift it back up from the acetate. So there we go. Now they meet up. So I've got this little piece here, so I'm not wasting that. I'm going to pop that there. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of this with some of these strips. Now they are a little bit different in height, I found, than our normal dimensionals. So yeah, you might want to continue on with them, only so that it's not wonky, if you know what I mean. So I'll pop this piece down here for a bit of strength. And I haven't taken the paper off these yet, because I don't need to curve them. So, yep. So I'm just laying these down. And these are really good because, you know, you've got not taking a whole pile of little pieces of backing off. You know, you can do it in one big bit. So let's pop that there, and this piece will pop up here, and I just need a couple more little bits, and then I'll show you what we are going to do. I don't think I need any around there, but I will put some there, and I will put some here. Okay, now it's at this point, I can just pop that back on there. Now it's at this point that you want to put your little shaker bits in. Not putting it in there, I'm putting it in the center here. Now what I did was I used some of these little bits and pieces of leaves and things, but I'm not going to go crazy this time. I think I put too many in last time, so I think I'll just put a few in. And then I just got my little single hole punch, and I just cut out some little, popped out some little holes, and I did them in the 3 colours, the 2 greens, the soft sea foam, the garden green, and the Misty Moonlight. So I'm just putting a couple of those in there as well. And as I said, you really don't have to fill this thing right up. You'll be surprised how little you actually need. Now I'm going to put some of these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous green sequins in here. And look, I'm a bit nervous that I'm going to put too much in, given that I put too much in before. But I thought I might add some of the blue ones in as well. Look how well they go with this colour. How lovely are they? Am I trying to open the wrong end? Hang on. Hang on. Oh, it's sealed. I haven't even used them, I don't think. Is that a seal? Hang on. There we go. Yeah, I think I'll just put a few little blue ones in as well. And that's it. Okay. Now here's a trick, only because I get really worried about putting that down, and once it's down, it's down. So what I do is I just peel all these off, and these are so much easier than the little dimensionals. I peel all of these off, and then I put a little bit of liquid glue on these so that they don't stick immediately. Because if I put this down crooked, it's stuck. It's stuck. And there's another ask me how I know type of a scenario. So I'm just sticking a pin in here because that's driving me crazy. So little bits of glue on a couple of the strategic ones that are going to be placed down, just for movement, just for ease of movement. Fingers crossed, I hope. Okay, so my sequins are in the middle there, and I just want to check the border all the way around, and just bear with me while I just stick my head over this. I think that looks about right. Looks about right to me from where I am. So I'm putting that down, and now they're trapped in there, and they can shake around. Aren't they pretty? I'm glad I put the blue ones in there now. They're gorgeous. And they are trapped in there because the strips are holding those in. Isn't that beautiful? So cute. Just looks so cute. I'm so glad I saw this. I think her name was Jillibling. This was the kind of card that she made, but I've made it into a shaker card. So now we have this panel that we're going to eventually put it onto our card. Oh, look what I did. I put it horizontal. Why didn't you yell out? New card base. Don't worry, I've got some here. Dear, oh dear. That would have been a bit embarrassing. Okay, so I'm going to start again. It's only going to take me 2 minutes. My goodness me. If I knew how to edit, I'd edit this out, but I'm a bit of a Neanderthal when it comes to technology. So yeah, sorry guys, you're stuck with this for a minute. You can always fast forward. So let's start that stamping process again. It's only this one here, so I'll just give that a good ink up and stamp it again. I don't know where my head was. Don't know what's going on there. So we need to just pop this in the center. Hope that's straight. Looks pretty good to me. And there we go. You don't want to really press hard because, yeah, it'll squash the rubber and the font will get a bit squashed. So that's done. That didn't take long. I'll worry about putting the fancy bits on it again later. So now we have this piece. We're going to glue this straight onto here, and I can just glue straight across the back of this. And you might want the strong liquid glue or the tear and tape for this, because this has got to hold the whole kit and caboodle onto the front of your card. So make sure your card opens right. Duh. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so that's in place now. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Oh gosh, I'll be playing with that all afternoon now. So now we want to start embellishing this. Now these are going to provide you with a lot of greenery. Just this one here. Now here's some that from the previous card. I've just cut it off. I've just cut bits and pieces of it off, and we're going to do some embellishment here. But I think we might do the stamping. We might just do. Oh, we've done the stamping. That's right. Okay, I've done that. Oh, I think I need a cup of tea. Hang on a sec. That's better. Okay, so what I decided to do was put some of this ribbon, this gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon, and I can't imagine why I haven't used this up until now. I really don't know. So this one goes that way. Now I did actually move the circle over a little tiny bit left of center so that I could fit this stuff in. We've moved this just above center so we can fit this in. So what I did was I just sort of I just got a couple of bits of this ribbon, just a couple of lengths like this. Oops, I've got the fan on because it's a bit warm, and so it's blowing things around. So that's all I'm basically doing, is just having a couple of little bits of ribbon. Now you need to, at this point, you need to decide where you're going to put this. I think I will still put it on this side because I really like this side. So the easiest way to put this on is glue dots. So I'm just going to pop a couple of glue dots on the back of this ribbon. There's one. There's two. I'm going to lay this down where I want it. And I've got it going just across, like diagonally across the bottom of this circle. Now this one, I want it to go up a little bit, up a bit higher than that. So a couple of glue dots on this one. And isn't it lovely? It's got this beautiful little weave going down the center of that. And I think the blue and the white just looks really, really fresh. So popping those down like that, and then I can start building my greenery. So I just want that like that, and I just basically snipped about there and then cut these little bits off that join onto it. There's one bit there and one bit there. Look, there's plenty of foliage dyes that you can use, and I think that's just enough. So glue dots again, I think, because they're in a bit tricky places. So we'll put one here, just popping one there, and I will just roll that around on itself. So that's going to go on there. And I think we need something up here. So another little glue dot there. And again, oh, did that go on? No, did not. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. So we'll just peel that off there. and then just sort of fold that back on itself so it's not creating anything sticky on the front. So that's 2 little glue dots we have, and that's going to hold that in place like that. Isn't that lovely? It looks lovely so far with that little bit of ribbon peeking out. Now the other piece was here, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing with some glue dots. Let me see. So the glue dots will stick to the acetate as well, so that's why I'm using those, because yeah, the liquid glue would be a bit tricky with this. So just going to fold that in onto itself. I'm just using the point of the scissors. If I had my take your pick, I would be using that, but I can't find it. So right, a couple more strategically placed around the back here. Now this one I don't have to worry too much about, because the little birdie is going to sit over the top of that, and he's already got some foliage stuck to him, so I don't need a terrible lot. So maybe just that. So pop that down there like that. It's stuck on there. And now I can put our little birdie over the top. And again, I'm going to use glue dots. I'm going to use glue dots because they're easy, they're quick, they stick, and they hold things in. Oop, straight on my finger. Oh, gosh. Did I say they're quick? Was I tempting? Was I tempting the glue dot gods? The glue dot gods? Okay, and there's our little bird sitting in a little nest. He's got some ribbon. He's got some foliage there. If you think that might be too much foliage, please yourself. We've got our little shaker elements in the card. Our beautiful little sequins that is shaking around in there. There's a couple of little birds in the trees in the background. And all we need now is our sentiment on the front of the card. So where is it? Here it is here. So I have this, and I just had some scraps of the Misty Moonlight. So I'm just going to glue that onto there like that. I'm not going to worry too much about trimming that edge down yet, but I will just slice a strip off here. I think that's where it went. Yep. Now, these fiddly little pieces can be, you know, can drive you crazy when you're trying to get them into your paper trimmer or your little guillotine, as in this case. So I quite often just use one of these little post-it note strips. I just use it as a little handle, and it holds it in place. Now, where is my little pencil mark? Okay, it's right there. So I'm going to line that. I'm going to put this on here first, and I have just a little bit of the post-it sticky on the back there, just enough so that I can hold it in place. Now I can see my pencil mark there. There it is there, and I can push that down when I'm happy with that. I can just push that down, she says. And, oh, that's not even in the right space. Okay. Let's see. That looks about right. So I can hold it. I can hold it with my little post-it. Now I've got this piece here. I want to pop that on there. So I've got a little bit of the blue peeking out. So I'll just put a little bit of liquid glue on here, not too much. And just line that up so that the border is fairly equal. Look, these were just strips and offcuts, so you're using up bits and pieces. I'm just cutting that at an angle like that, just at a sharp angle like that, just for something different. Now I want to put that here somewhere, but I don't know that I want to cover up that little birdie. I particularly like that little birdie, so I might pop it down here. Might pop it down here somewhere. Or I could put it on this side and cut this at an angle this way. There we go. Look, problem solved. And then I can put him on this side. Excellent. So that is going to have a glue dot on the back of that there. The back of this edge, because that is going to go over the acetate. So glue dot on the back. A little bit of glue on here, a little bit of liquid glue on this side. And I'm going to pop that up here. Just under there like that. And so we've got our little shake elements inside. We've got our little cute little 3D birdie on the front and our message there with a message in the middle, which would have some beautiful paper on it had I not buggered that up. But you get the gist, okay? You've got the gist. Here is the landscape one, which I quite like. And here is the, now these foliage pieces that I haven't used, they'll just go into my busy box and I'll have them all ready. The same with all of those other little bits and pieces. But time is running out for this beautiful Flight and Airy paper. You've only got till the 29th of February. So yeah. And these gorgeous sequins, look, that's how you get literally thousands and thousands, and they're beautiful. They've got little pearls in them as well. Got little pearls in them. They've got gold, they've got sparkly ones, translucent one. They're beautiful, and I think they're $10.80 Australian at the moment, because they're in the clearance rack. But they're going to last you till you're not doing craft anymore. You can leave them to your children in your will. But there are the two cards. I hope I did them justice, and I don't make enough shaker cards. I can tell you that right now. But I think everybody loves a little shaker card, and I thought it was a cute idea to put the leaves in there, but I'd put too many in this one. But they will eventually come loose, I'm sure of it. I'm living in hope. But yeah, I just thought that was a nice little touch, putting the loose leaves in it. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. If you want the templates, don't forget to request them. And I'll see you on the next exciting episode of Jill Lancet. So see you all Sunday. Thank you so much and take care. Thank you. Bye.